Hi friends, it's Farshid here. This year I turned 30 and just like that, my 20s were over. And I was thinking about something this morning. As somebody who worked in finance, what did I spend most of my money on in my 20s? What were some of the best purchases I made and what could have been a better investment? I've compiled this in a short list, which we'll get to in a second. But before we do that, let me tell you something. Your 20s are really crucial and what you spend your money on can either put you on a path to success or send you stumbling down a path of struggle and debt. So if you're in your 20s and you're watching this video, then listen up. You can have fun and make better purchases that will slingshot you to success and financial freedom. Remember, this is not financial advice. These are things that I've learned working around money, which has helped me improve my finances. So I thought, let me share that knowledge. So let's get right into it. So at the very top of the list for me is traveling. One of the best financial purchases I made very early on was a Eurostar ticket to Paris. When I was at university, I had just started a part-time job, and with my first paycheck, I bought a Eurostar ticket to travel out of the UK and experience a new country. I found this experience incredibly rewarding and I immediately fell in love with traveling. Since then, I've been on multiple trips to different parts of the world, and I go on solo trips if my client is based overseas. Traveling really teaches you a lot about yourself and it helps build your self-esteem. It also has many other benefits like teaching you how to organize and plan your trips. You get to meet new people, experience new cultures. It teaches you how to get out of difficult situations by yourself, and it's the best opportunity to learn more about yourself. You don't have to splash out and go somewhere fancy. You can get cheap tickets and travel to a different city or the closest country near you. There's even credit cards now that give you points which you can use to buy plane tickets. All you have to do is open up a credit card, put all your expenses on your credit card and make sure that that full balance is paid before the end of the month. Credit cards also help build your credit score, which will help you secure a loan when you're thinking of buying your first property. Second on the list is investing in myself. I know this sounds very generic and you've probably heard this a million times, but investing in myself has not only increased my income, it has enriched my personal and my professional life. And by gaining new knowledge and new skills, I feel confident in my abilities, which boosts my overall confidence. Even if I get really good at something, like let's say Microsoft Excel, I use that pretty much every day at work. I just assume that I only know 20% of everything I'm supposed to know. So I spend majority of my time just training and learning to try and get my skills up to at least 50%. One thing that's really common in high earners is that they're always at the top of their game. They invest in themselves to get their skills up to date to maximize their income. We're at the information age of technology and everything is digital, so you can find an online course for almost anything. I did online courses and studied towards my accountancy qualification to increase my accounting knowledge, which got me a couple of pay rises. And as a consultant, I'm continuously doing courses to keep my skills up to date. Now, this is not to say that it's only limited to your professional life. Maybe you want to try something completely new. You can do that. Like I'm currently learning how to edit my own YouTube videos. I've been watching loads of tutorials on video editing, mainly on Skillshare. And no, they're not sponsoring this video. I just like the courses on there. And of course, there's also YouTube, which I use. There are some amazing free tutorials on there. And I can already see significant improvements in my video editing. I don't know, you guys tell me in the comments. Am I doing any good? So the main point is that investing in yourself will grow your wealth, and that's always money well spent. Unless you spend that money on a $3,000 course somebody sold you on YouTube, promising you that education is a scam and that their course can make you rich. The only person getting rich is that person who now has your $3,000. So don't fall for that. The next on the list is investing on a side hustle. When I first started my career, my salary was quite low, and the people around me who owned their own businesses kept giving me the same advice. Start doing something on the side. Let's be honest, in this day and age, solely relying on your salary is not enough, and we need the extra income. We're lucky that we have so many opportunities that have been made so easy for us. There are YouTube videos that give you step-by-step instructions on how to create a vlog, start a YouTube channel, create online businesses, video editing, just to name a few. And for most of these side hustles, all you need is a phone or a computer and access to the internet, which pretty much a lot of us have. You should never think twice when it comes to spending your money on a side hustle, because you're essentially investing into your future and potentially a new income stream. I really wanted to try different things, so whenever I received a bonus from work, I would invest that in a side hustle. I remember the first bonus I got, I bought a camera and I started making making cringy YouTube videos around gaming. The next bonus I received, I went and bought an Elgato capture card along with this mic, and I started streaming on Twitch. And any extra bit of money I had laying around, I put it all together and I built a powerful gaming PC to help with the streaming and allow me to edit at a high standard. The streaming didn't work out quite as well as I thought, but I don't mind that. It's never money wasted when you're trying to build something for yourself or you're trying something out. Some of the good that came out of that experience is that I learned how to edit my own videos, and also I'm comfortable to sit in front of a camera and make these type of videos. This time I really want to grow my channel, and hopefully with the investments that I've made, I can increase my chances of success. The next best purchase I made is a reliable secondhand car, which I didn't have to sell a kidney for. If you live close to your university or your workplace and you can walk, cycle, or take public transport, then you're lucky because you don't really need a car. My university was quite far, so I had two choices. Either spend all my money on rent or stay at home, buy a cheap and reliable car, and save the rest of my money. I bought my first car from an auction for about £900, and it was a really old Toyota Yaris. I called it Tina, and to save money, I learned everything I needed to know about maintaining the car so I could do it all myself. For example, how to do a service, how to fix common issues, changing the tires and light bulbs. And most importantly, I learned to enjoy what I have and spend my money on better things. No judgments here, but I know people who have bought flashy new cars on finance and they're living paycheck to paycheck with no savings. If you go for a secondhand car, the depreciation on that car will have slowed down significantly. So depending on how well you keep the car, it doesn't lose much of its value, and you can easily sell it and buy a slightly better one once you gain more driving experience, or you can comfortably afford a new one. This one is not a purchase, but it's worth mentioning. It's clearing your debts. If you have gotten yourself into a bit of a debt, it's best to start clearing these so you don't have any debt creeping into your 30s. I'm assuming that in our 20s, the only debt we should really have is student loans, but unfortunately, we might find ourselves in tough situations where we have to borrow money. Maybe you took out a loan to buy a new phone or a new car, or to start a business, or maybe you just went crazy on your credit card and now you owe a big chunk of money. Now, I don't really recommend using credit cards for anything other than building your credit score, because if you're late on your payments, then you'll be dealing with really high interest rates and late payment fees. It's a good idea to pay off these debts as soon as possible so you don't end up paying loads of interest on it. When it comes to any sort of debt, I follow the 50-30-20 rule, where instead of putting 20% into my savings, I put 10% or the full 20% towards my debt to clear that off faster. Once you're free from debt, your expenses drop and it frees up your cash flow, which will allow you to focus on saving. And with student loan, I personally haven't paid that off in full, because after 25 years of taking the loan out, the loan is going to get wiped off anyway. Hopefully. The monthly repayments are small amounts, and I rather have my money at hand so I can make investments with it and make it grow. Next on the list is investing in real estate. Now, if I was in my 20s again, I would buy my first property the moment I have enough for a deposit. I would invest in a flat or a small house and put that on rent. This is a great way of having a steady source of passive income. Had I done this earlier, I would have been retired, sitting at a beach somewhere in Bali. Okay, maybe not, but I would have been better off. This is a very smart move to make in your 20s, because this secures any additional amount of money that you have sitting around in your bank and not growing into an asset that will build you wealth, and it will help you become financially secure. I know people who got onto the property ladder in their 20s and they're now on their second and third property. So if I was you, I'd get myself familiar with ISA accounts and first-time buyer schemes. I opened an ISA account the moment I learned about it. For every £4,000 that you put into an ISA account, the government will give you a bonus of £1,000, which is pretty much free money. You can only take the money out if you're buying your first home. So if you take the money out any earlier, then you have to pay a fee. So make sure you read the terms and everything. There are steps you can take to get onto the property ladder, and getting your first property will probably be the hardest, but once you're on the property ladder, you'll be better off than most 20-year-olds. And here's the thing, it'll only get harder, so it's better now than later. And now for the investment opportunities that I missed. There are two things that I really regret not investing in my 20s, and those things are investing in stocks that pay dividends, and the most obvious one, investing in Bitcoin. Had I invested just 10k in Bitcoin back in 2016, today that would have been worth 480k. I missed a really good opportunity to make a good sum of money. I didn't invest in Bitcoin because I simply didn't understand it and I didn't want to risk my money, so I chickened out. What a mistake that was, because the people that did invest in Bitcoin, now they have enough money to buy a whole house. Forget about a deposit. And if I had invested in stocks that paid dividends, then in every bear market that we've experienced, I could have made some money, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to make long-term investments and keep my money tied somewhere for too long. Both of these things could have been great ways to make some passive income. Had I done my research and invested my money when the opportunity was there in my 20s, I would have had a better start to my 30s. The idea now is to be open to new trading opportunities and make some long-term investments as well. And I will stress that with investments, you do need to speak to a financial advisor who can look at your personal circumstances and recommend products to help you with your financial or investment goals. In our 20s, we can be quite impatient. We just want get-rich-quick schemes with minimal effort, which could lead us to making some really bad investments and purchases. Nowadays, you have to be extra careful with your money, as we've experienced in the past year. Majority of this get-rich-quick schemes turned out to be a scam, like NFTs, forex trading, and pyramid schemes, just to name a few. The good thing is that in our 20s, we can afford to take calculated risks on investments and side hustles, because you have time to recover if things don't work out, and you can learn from that experience. And as I mentioned earlier, our 20s are really crucial in shaping our futures. The financial decisions that you make now can either put you on a path to success or send you stumbling down a path of struggle and debt. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in learning what the 7 things you're spending your money on that's making you poor, then you're in luck, because I've made a whole video about just that. You can check that video out. I'll link it up here for you. But before you click on that link, do you know what the best investment you can make at this very moment is? Subscribing to this channel and getting all this finance knowledge up here for free. More videos will be coming to help you level up your finances, covering side hustles, investments, and buying your first property. Until then, take care, and I'll see you over there.